Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my October 2021 book haul. So I bought way too many books again. I bought 21. They're all from, I bought them in many different places, but I think I spent a little bit too much money. So I'm hoping I'm going to do better in November, but as November has just started, I already have several books on pre-order and a couple already coming in. So I'm not hopeful, but we're gonna try to curb myself going forward. But for now, let's talk about all the books that I did get. So I got quite a few in a lot of different genres. So let's just kind of go through. So one of my classics that I got is Zofloa or The Moor by Charlotte Decree. And this was published in 1806. And I think it has to do with, it's a tale of lust, betrayal, and multiple murders set in Venice in the last days of the 15th century. So it's a historical fiction. From what I understand, it also was a great influence on Byron and Shelley because there was a minor scandal involved in its publication. I'll be interested to see what that is about. But anyway, so it dropped in price one day and I just picked it up. It's been on my wish list for like 2 years. I don't know where I saw that. It's just been on my list. I did pick up 2 books, collections from Charles Dickens that I think I've gotten all of these. I don't know, I have to look, but I've gotten other ones of these. I can't remember which one I got, these versions, but this is Mugby Junction and The Haunted House. So they're like multiple stories inside from I think his what do you call it? All the year around, his magazine, Charles Dickens magazine. So there's several authors, I think, in both of these. So I'm hoping to get to these at some point. They're just, I guess they're short stories from different authors. Here's one of the books that I actually have read before. That is The Romance of a Shop by Amy Levy. I think this came out in, I can't remember, it was the 1880s or 1890s. I can't remember where it is. Anyway, so I read this last year and really enjoyed it, but it's one of those books where I have been thinking about it all year round. Like I want to reread this. So I had read it on ebook, but I know that I will read it more promptly as a reread in physical. So I got a used copy. Again, it's not the best. The writing is kind of small and huge margins, but anyway, it's just one of those books where I remember reading it and I gave it a 4 overall, but it is a book I've been thinking about all year round. And it has to do with 4 sisters who, after their father dies, they decide to go into business because they have no money. And so they open up a photography shop, and it's talking about changing classes and having to go into business and the stigma of people that they used to know and who they now know, and their relationships and a few romantic entanglements. And I really, as I said, I really enjoyed it, but I feel like it might push to a 5-star the second time I read it, because I'll read it, you know, as I said, I know where it's going. I just want to know, I want to read it again to see how I feel about it the second time. Anyway, so I have read that one before. I picked up the last 2 books in the Asha or the She series by H. Rider Haggard. So again, She is definitely one of my favorite books this year. It was just so much fun. I bought the second book, so I have that on my shelf already, but I needed She and Alan, which is book 3, which has has the character Asha and Alan Quartermain, and I got that used, and then because that's the only place I could get that. And then Wisdom's Daughter is number 4. I'm sure it maybe has to do with their daughter. I'm not even sure. So, but I got these really cool editions. I can't find number 1, which is the one I have the Oxford World Classic with, but my second one and all 2, 3, and 4 now are all this edition. So anyway, those are cool. Anyway, but those were published after the Victorian period, so that's why I haven't continued the series, because he wrote them many years later. I did pick up another contemporary romance. Again, I think I'm going to try to read some of these here maybe in December or January and just try to get back into them, because I used to read a lot of them, but I don't read much contemporary anymore. So this is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. So this is one I've heard a lot about, and again, a lot of buzz about. So the woman is a PhD candidate, and she is dealing with her stuff, and her friend wants to date her ex-boyfriend, so she says, oh yeah, no problem, but she has to pretend like she's dating someone, so she kisses this professor who's not her professor, and he needs help as well, I think, with his showing that he's not going to leave, so that showing he has a relationship, he won't leave right away. So anyway, they have this kind of fake dating. It's one of my favorite tropes. Again, I usually have that, I usually like those in historicals, so we'll see what happens in a contemporary. It's been a long time. So, but I've heard a lot of people like this one, so I took a chance and picked that one up. I also picked up Cracked Pots by Heather Tucker. This is the sequel to The Clay Girl, which I read 4 years ago and just adored. 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know. It's a while ago, and I'm kind of wondering if I need to reread that one. We're still following Ari and her journey, and she's now a little bit older and I think going to college and still dealing with all the things that happened in her childhood with her mother who is addicted to stuff and her dad who's just not there, and then just the whole family's messed up, and just her making her own way. And again, Ari is one of those characters I just adore, so I kind of think I might have to reread The Clay Girl again. But this is the continuing book, and again, it took us a few years to get it, so, but I definitely am glad to get that, and I'm hoping to read that soon. And then I got The Vanished Days by Susanna Kearsley. This is another book on Scotland and the Jacobite, well, not it's like later, it's like after the stuff that takes place in the Wintersea and the Firebird. So I think this book is somehow later and somehow related. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. Anyway, so again, I love Susanna Kearsley. Usually there are dual timelines dealing with the past and the present. This one really sounds like it's just in the past. So I'm not sure how this is going to go for me. But I do love her writing, and I do want to get to this at some point. But I have so many of her other books. I'm still trying to read her backlist. So, but I hope to get to that one because it's kind of related to that series. I do have a couple of translated works. The Stray Cats of Homes by Eva Noor. This is translated by Agnes Broom. I don't know translated from what, though. I don't know what this was originally written in, but it is about Syria and about a man and his I guess it's based on true events. So, and I think I know he has cats and stray cats and dogs and a turtle, and that's not all I know. I just figured it's going to be heartbreaking, but I don't know, I was attracted to that, I guess probably because it has cats on it, I don't know, or the name of it. The other one, the cat one, is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Nasukawa. This is translated from Japanese by Louise Hio Kawai. I think this has to do with a man who inherits a bookstore from his family. I think his grandfather, and he's devastated and he doesn't know what he's thinking about closing the shop, but then this talking cat named Tiger starts talking to him and I think saves the bookshop. Anyway, I need to read that, and I love Japanese lit, so, and again, with the surrealism of having a talking cat, I'm all there. And then the other weird one I got was The Cabinet by Unsoo Kim, translated, I believe, from the Korean by Sean Lee Halbert. So this is another weird one, as I said. This has to do with a cabinet in a where they put, it looks like a file cabinet, but they have like all these weird, they have files for people who have weird abilities and bizarre experiences and even like new species and things. And so I think it's just going to be kind of a weird thing. Just talking about this guy who works there, and he just keeps dealing with probably the cabinet stuff. Anyway, I don't know, but it's my kind of, it sounds like my kind of translated fiction. And then I have a couple of, I guess, fantasies, or, well, this is historical fantasy, I guess, isn't it? I thought this had to do with power. The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry by C.M. Wagner. So I picked this up on a whim at Barnes & Noble, and I think it has to do, it says it's a fantasy novel about a woman who joins forces against a deadly conspiracy. So I think she's down on her luck, witch and also con artist, and she joins some other women who are tasked to protecting somebody from Unknown Assassins. So I don't know. I picked this up completely on a whim. So I don't know. Have you guys read this? Let me know. I don't know. Some of these books, and then I got Driftwood by Marie Brennan. So I've read the first book in her Lady Trent series. I need to get back and reread that and then continue that series. This is weird. It's about a world where people don't stay around too long, and it seems like it has slow. The continents are collapsing, and there's this one guy who called Last, who has been, I don't know if he's been holding it together or he's been somehow central, and then something happens that maybe he died, and then it says drifters come together to commemorate them, but who was that? Who were they? And what I think is it might be one of those talk around the fire about somebody kind of stories. I don't know. It's not very long. I just took a chance on this one, and I don't know. So if you guys have read it, let me know. Seems kind of weird, but I'm going to try it. I did also get an adventure novel, The Two Lost Mountains by Matthew Riley. This is book 6 in the Jack West Jr. series. So again, I've just restarted it. I've read only 3 of them. So I've only reread one. So I need to get to the second book. The first book is Seven Deadly Wonders, which I really enjoyed. It's a fun ride. These are fun rides. These are not like perfect or anything, but they're just fun. And they're just adventure novels of people, saving the world from other mean, because again, I just love it because the first book, the Americans are definitely the bad guys. It was great because Matthew Riley is Australia, but it's awesome how it's just adventure stuff, and it's like military, but it's about weird ancient rites and passages and things. The first one was about all the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and it was really cool how he did that. I really enjoyed that book. I need to continue that series anyway. So I bought book 2 because book 1 just came out in hardback. It's the last book. Sorry, I don't know. It was one last. I don't remember what the book was called. It's something about a labyrinth. Anyway, so the 7th book just came out, so I need to read that series as well before that one comes out in paperback. Then I also got by pre-order is Pretty Little Lion by Solinka Snyder. So I read the first book. What was the first book? I read it. A Big Bad Wolf. That is what it was. So I read that, and it had to do with this world is our world, but like a couple years ago, something happened where shifters came out and changed kind of the dynamic of everything, and it's still kind of wonky on how many rights everybody has and everything. It's a very scary novel in that way of showing the world and how it changes. And that one showed us had a man who was being convicted or who was on trial for a crime, and then his lawyer kind of gets a little too close to him, but then also they get caught up in somebody else trying to eliminate him before he goes to trial. So that was an adventure. We do meet the third shift. I don't know, they're like protectors, but they're also shifters, but they're called the third shift, and they are operatives, kind of security operatives. And so the second book follows one of the co-founders as he goes, I think, undercover to take down somebody. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Sorry, I'm talking way too much. I also got Neon Gods by Katie Roberts. So I've been really curious about her erotic fantasy or retellings, romance retellings of there's the Disney series, the Disney villains and stuff, and there's or characters like the main characters and one of the villains or something. But this is one of the Greek ones. So this is Neon Gods. This is the first in this series. It has to do with Hades and Persephone, and it's like modern day, clubs and the bad areas and people. So Persephone is running away and goes to Hades to get protection because she's supposed to marry Zeus and she doesn't want to, and she makes some deal with Hades. And so anyway, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I just want to try that. Another book I have read is The House on Widow's Hill by Simon R. Green. This is book 10. I think this is book 10 in the Ishmael Jones series. So I've read all these. I read them as they come out in hardback from my library, and then I buy the paperbacks as they come out. And this was a good one. This is like the haunted house one. And again, these are English mystery, murder, manners in the country. Yeah, country manners with a supernatural twist. And again, Ishmael Jones and his partner Penny are just hilarious. It's just fun. They're just fun little rides. I just enjoy them. And the last ones are the last of the Kate Daniels books that I needed to pick up. Book 8, Magic Shifts, is the next one I'm going to read. So probably when you're seeing this, I'm reading it. Anyway, so this one, as I said, is book 8. I had it on ebook, but I decided to buy a physical because I have all the rest of them in physical, and I just did it. Iron and Magic is in the Kate Daniels world. I'm just not sure. I think it's 9.5 in this series, but I don't know anything about it. I'm not looking at the back. I just almost, I don't want to spoil myself. I don't know what this is about. Doesn't matter. It's in the series. And then Blood Heir is after the Kate Daniels series. This is also the Kate Daniels world. So I'm not sure how this relates to it, but heck, I'm going to read it later. And I'm hoping to read all those before the end of the year. So at least some of these will get done. We'll see. So those are all the books that I bought. I bought a lot. So anyway, are there anything that you bought? Is there any of these that you think I should pick up sooner rather than later? Let me know. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.